What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. BC coming at you with all the latest in the pro wrestling world for this Thursday, September 12th, 2024. Programming note, this is the second upload of the day. Just a few hours ago, the first upload went up. You'll see the thumbnail titled Black Brock. That's right, exactly as it reads, Black Brock. Click on that for some really good conversation sparked by MVP, former WWE superstar. It's a really good discussion. In that same upload, AJ Lee opens up about the CM Punk Drew McIntyre feud. So we go over AJ Lee's comments. And a lot of people would love to see AJ Lee and even Larry waddle down the ramp to get involved in the feud. Is that even a possibility, right? We talk about what AJ Lee said and the Punk Mac feud. We also talk in that upload that went up just a few hours ago, the Monday Night Raw rating. They are already tapping out to the NFL, and it's just week one. The first week of Monday Night Football, and Raw has already sunk to alarmingly low numbers. It's pretty sad, but it did have to be talked about, and we absolutely talked about it in that upload. The saving grace, the light at the end of the tunnel, though, was NXT. Now, they were in a position this week that I did not envy. I actually felt bad for them. I never use debates, holidays, sporting events. I never use anything as an excuse for a terrible rating, right? That's up to the show and the company to put their best foot forward. But damn, Trump and Harris's debate, I would not want to go against that. NXT had no choice. The debate pulled in 58 million people across 9 stations, and somehow NXT held their own. We talk all about it in that upload that went up just a few hours ago, so definitely check that out. And before we get into these stories, by the way, I don't have a ton of time for this second upload, but we got some really good discussion to talk about, man. Ricochet all up in his feelings yet again and attacking fans, pretty much, verbally, on the online doohickey machine. Ricochet is not happy with fans again. Nash and Logan Paul started out as a pretty much just a vivid shoot between the two. But while a lot of people think that could end up as a work, knowing how close both are to Hunter Hearst Helmsley, we'll talk about it. I'll let you guys listen to what they both said, and we'll talk about if it's a shoot now or has it turned into a work. We're also going to talk AEW attendance. I know a lot of you guys have seen the pic that has been making the rounds from this past Wednesday night's Dynamite. It is it's discouraging to see a photo like that, and that's why when people say the wrestling business is booming, I ask the question, is WWE's financials booming, or is the actual industry booming? Because there's a separation between the two. There's a mega difference, and you have to know such. So we'll talk about that as well. And the good news for AEW, maybe, is that the TV deal is done. But there's a lot of asterisks in this TV deal we're hearing, and we have to discuss that because this might turn out to be not such a good thing for AEW. So we'll talk that as well, and maybe a little bit more. But before we get into those stories, a big shout out too, because we just talked NXT. My right-hand man on the channel member, not just subscriber, JR9 Gaming with another diesel NXT roundup. In that first upload that went up just hours ago, in the comments, you'll see JR9's weekly NXT roundup. A vivid, detailed, amplified account of NXT's show this past Tuesday. JR9, I'm not going to spoil it. You guys read that for yourselves. It's a really good read. He was not too impressed on this show in totality. So again, I ask, how did it maintain 628 out of the 631K that they had last week, going up against such a huge debate? Because that only happens if it's really good or there's enough newsworthy things going on. Maybe it was that. I did hear, because I wasn't able to catch any of NXT, I heard the Bloodline showed up. I heard they teased Julia and Jordan Grace. Of course, you had Julia and Chelsea Green. And JR9 confirmed basically all of that and more in that roundup. So all of that happened and a lot more. I can see why a lot of people are kind of like, all right, wait, NXT is kind of diesel right now. But that doesn't always translate to a good or bad show. JR9 didn't think it was that good. However, in that same upload, I had other subscribers on the channel saying NXT was pretty damn decent this week. So to each their own, I'm going to have to just watch several, especially reading JR9's roundup. There's some things I am going to have to go and check out and really see for myself, because a lot of people are divided with this week's show. But what I do know is they were able to keep 628 out of their 631, going up against a 58 million viewer juggernaut that debate pulled in. That is wild. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's start with Logan Paul, Kevin Nash. You guys ready for this? This is absolutely wild, man. So Kevin Nash, want to start with him? Let's go with, this is what Nash said, all right? Because we have to sequence this in order. This is what Nash said, and I really would like you guys to hear this for yourself. So this is Kevin Nash on Logan Paul. His feelings on Logan Paul.
He's not one of the boys. Where would he learn that shit at? Where's he fucking going up and down the road fucking talking our fucking jargon? In the building, everybody's in their own fucking motor coach. There's no fucking interaction. There's no socialization. You don't become one of the boys just because you're fucking around them. That motherfucker, from what I heard he's making, $5 million for fucking a limited fucking, and those other motherfuckers are out there making house shows. Fuck you. Fuck you. That's from the boys. Fuck you.
That's from someone working the road schedule.
I don't give a fuck how many people are following you.
Logan.
Wow, man. So that was Nash. And guys, it sounded like a legit shoot from the jump. This didn't sound like he was just trying to put on a work and trying to get one more match with Logan Paul. He's always probably trying to get a payday. I don't know with those knees that he's got. He'll be the first to tell you if he can get in that ring with somebody like Logan Paul. But then Logan responded, and this is where, and again, in case you didn't hear some of that, Nash says he's not one of the boys, meaning Logan Paul. Where would he learn that shit at? Where is he going up and down talking jargon? In the building? Everybody is in their own motor coach. There is no interaction. There is no socialization. You don't become one of the boys just because you're around them. And then he talks about him cashing in on a $5 million paycheck with the limited dates that he works. He says, you're not one of the boys. Fuck you. Fuck you. Twice. So then Logan responded. I'll let you guys listen to this for yourself. And this is where a lot of people go, all right, now it's definitely a work. Listen, Logan was cutting this like it's a promo, and I think that's why a lot of people think it's a work. And they're both Hunter Hearst Helmsley dudes, right? Kevin Nash was one of his boys, and Logan Paul's biggest fan is pretty much Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That's real talk. So I can see why a lot of people think that, but there's only so much. I mean, I don't know what Kevin Nash could possibly do in the ring with Logan Paul. It wouldn't be an acrobatic contest, obviously. It would be more of a fight. But even in a fight, how much can Kevin do with two banged up knees and a bad back? So I don't know what would this work lead to. That would be the company working themselves into the work, right? And then realizing they put themselves in a pickle, backed themselves into a corner. So I don't understand, but this is why a lot of people believe that, because Logan's response was almost promo-esque. But that's what he's been learning the past year plus. He's been learning, like, that's how you trash talk in promo form. So this is what Logan responded, because that was some heavy artillery from Kevin Nash. So Logan responds with this.
I got people messaging me. They're like, yo, Kevin Nash is talking shit about you. I said, damn. Who is Kevin Nash? And I mean that. I'm unfamiliar with this guy, which I think is his problem. I'm not as versed in the WWE and in wrestling as maybe I should be, as my peers are. But then how am I so much better than all of them? You know, I don't have the answers to these questions. It is a question. I don't know how I could be the best in the WWE or at least one of the best. Like, I'm surely a top fiver, and I don't even do it full time. Now imagine if I did learn a little bit. Imagine if I devoted, came one of the boys, learned what the difference between a shoot and a work was. Will that make me a champion? Fuck me? Fuck you. You're one of the old guys who is bitter that I am better at your job than you ever were. And that makes you pathetic. This will be my sport, and I will continue to make guys like you eat your words when I devote a little bit of time to it. So fuck me, fuck you.
That was Logan Paul, his response to Kevin Nash. So, again, a damn good promo, man. And that's what a lot of people are like, all right, well, if it wasn't a work, it better be a work now, because that was solid. That was Logan's best promo ever, they're claiming, right? But guys, I think we're letting, as fans, we kind of jump to, okay, now this has to be a match, right? This has to be, money has to be made. I think sometimes we have to stop and think, what are we doing? I mean, Kevin Nash, guys, it's not just older. He was always a bigger dude. And because of that, with the age, his knees and his back have just given out. He'll be the first to tell you that. I don't know if Kevin Nash can get in there. It'd be cool to see one last match, absolutely. But can he even get in there for 10 to 15 minutes and take drop kicks or do body slams or deliver snake eyes? Can he run at even 20% in the ring? Because if not, guys, it's The Undertaker. It's The Undertaker, Kane, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Shawn Michaels tag team match from Saudi Arabia. Do you guys remember? I think it was like a crown jewel a few years ago. Or more than several years ago. But I think it was in Saudi Arabia. And it was a tag match. Undertaker and Kane, Brothers of Destruction versus DX. Shawn Michaels, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And it was an absolute train wreck. And they could never, once the train went off the tracks immediately in that match, they were never able to put it back on. Kane lost his mask or something in the match, I remember. He was pissed off. Undertaker was pissed because he couldn't get anything back. Everything was off, and he tried to put it back, but it just got worse. Shawn Michaels was completely... First of all, he was pissed that he even took the match. He felt like he sold out because his retirement match was supposed to be with Taker, right? And he was never going to wrestle again, but it was such a big payday that he kind of got pushed into it. Then he goes out there and everyone's making fun of him because he's bald now. So Michaels is pissed off. Hunter Hearst Helmsley tears another quad in the match. This is real shit. That's how bad this was, man. Kane's pissed he lost his mask. Hunter's pissed because he lost his quad. Shawn's pissed because he lost his hair. Undertaker's pissed because he lost he lost the entire match from the first minute and couldn't get it back. Everybody was pissed. The stories from that match, it's funny. But it is sad. But, I mean, if Nash tries to get in there just for a payday, you got to be careful. You don't want to expose yourself and take away the legacy that Nash still has. There's a lot of people that don't like Nash and what he stood for, and they think he ruined WCW, this, that, and the other thing. The truth is, Diesel was still a huge part of this business, this industry. He's a bona fide Hall of Famer. Whether it's a Diesel or a Kevin Nash or however you want to put this dude into the Hall of Fame, he's an absolute legend. These are just facts. Whether you like him or not, that's your prerogative. But you don't want to just tarnish that for one more payday. So, again, I would ask people that think this is a work now. I don't think it started off. Definitely not. That was just Nash being Nash. But then you hear Logan's response, and now everybody is saying, well, even if it's not a work, it has to be now. Does it? Why can't it just be, hey, this dude said stupid shit, and your response was, who are you? I don't even care about you. Continue to watch me be the best. That's the best response Logan could have had. We'll see if it becomes a work. They both could be on the phone with Hunter Hearst Helmsley going, dude, let's do this. No harm, no foul. Give us 10 minutes on Netflix. Promoted as Diesel's back. It's Big Daddy Cool Diesel. Right, Vince comes back for one introduction. Special guest ring announcer, Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Could you imagine? Every time this dude came out, no matter what he did, no matter what bad press, every time he would come out, the fans would go ballistic, bowing to Vince. Do you think now, if Vince ever came down the aisle, do you think finally fans would just flip him off, boo him, tell him to get the F out? Pun intended, if you guys don't remember. It used to be World Wrestling Federation, then they got sued by the World Wildlife Foundation. So they had to change the name from WWF to something else. So their big campaign was get the F out. And then it became WWE World Wrestling Entertainment. But do you think they would tell Vince to get the F out? Or do you think they would, after all this trash talking to Vince, would they keep bowing when his music was playing? Right? You got no chance in hell, you've got. And they're all bowing. Right? The second the music stops, Vince is in the ring. This is awesome. Because I've seen wild shit, man. Everyone's like, oh, after this story, man, they're going to boo Vince out of the building. Then his music plays, here he comes, and the whole crowd is stunned that Mr. McMahon is in their presence. That would be funny. Anyway, we're getting a little bit off track here, man, but I don't know. Kevin Nash, Logan Paul, I think we can think of a few better matchups for Logan Paul. And Kevin Nash is doing great on the podcasting gig that he has, or whatever he's doing. We got to move it on, guys. We got a few extra stories here, and I don't got a ton of time for this second upload. What do you say we let's go to a positive AEW story, or we're hoping it's positive. Melty Boy is stating that AEW and Warner Brother Discovery's deal is done. Done. It's done. They're just waiting for the final confirmation, the big announcement. The release of the details, that's all that's left because the deal behind the scenes has been done. Meltzer says, and I quote, there are going to be changes, though. There is going to be a pay-per-view component. Warner Brothers is getting the rights to a pay-per-view. There is going to be a deal with HBO Max with pay-per-views in some way. So this is what I mean about it should be a good thing because I'm expecting they're going to get some type of increase to show good faith to Tony Khan, right? They just lost NBA anyway. They're going to try to keep AEW. They'll give him a little bit more money. I don't know about fully doubling it. I think that's something Meltzer said, if they doubled it, which is being talked about. But they didn't have that big of a deal anyway. So even doubling it, you would have to think Warner Brothers still makes out like bandits. But the thing is, how much do they have to give up? Right? I mean, is Warner Brothers Discovery asking for everything, including the kitchen sink? Because if that's the case and Tony Khan is just selling the soul for this, I mean, there's going to come a time where he's like, damn, I wish I didn't do that deal. Right? Even Nick Khan just said that with Peacock, NBC, and Fox. He always says it, right? After a while, he's like, damn, I wish we didn't sign that. We could have done this deal for XYZ reasons. So Nick Khan, even for World Wrestling Entertainment, the dude that does their deals, even he's got fucking seller's remorse at times. And so you just put Tony Khan in this position where it's clear the only reason that it took this long to get a deal done, if it in fact is done, the only reason it took this long is because they couldn't reach an agreement. Tony thought they should be getting a lot more, and Warner Brothers Discovery was like, no, you shouldn't be. So if Tony did get a lot more, or a decent amount more, how much did he have to give up for it? What is this pay-per-view change? Is that revenue going to go to Warner Brothers Discovery? Do they have to now go to HBO Max for a pay-per-view or two or all of them? It's going to be interesting to see the details, but that's a massive component to AEW that just got done. The deal. If Melty is correct on this, man, the deal is done. Now we just have to know what the deal is. That's where it's going to vary. The proof is going to be in the pudding. Who really won here, man? Was it Warner Brothers Discovery or did Tony Khan get exactly what he was looking for? I doubt that very much. So that could be a really good thing, though, man, if this deal was done and it benefits Tony Khan and AEW. What's not a good thing business-wise is recent word going around about the attendance for AEW. This has been something for months that has been a growing concern, alarmingly, mind you, that attendance is down. And this is for WWE too, guys. In yesterday's upload, if you weren't able to catch it, I advise you to catch it at some point when you have time. We had a really good discussion about Mark Shapiro, the TKO president, recently stating that WWE live events are being cut down. They went from 300 to 250 this year, and they'll go from 250 to 200 next year. 3 to 2 in 1 year. Why? Simple. Mark Shapiro says because they don't feel they're in a position where they need to grow the brand like they used to. Well, that's a part of it. The bigger part of it is they're losing money. They were never gaining money from these live events, just like AEW. Tony Khan will be the first to tell you they don't make a dime off these live events. That's why Tony Khan to this day is the first to tell you they don't make real revenue yet in AEW. Because these live events pull nothing. In fact, they lose money. That goes for WWE as well. These live events that are not televised, all these things where the arena is barely 50% full to capacity. 50% capacity, and they're having a hard time, and that's WWE. So now AEW this past Wednesday, this is a photo that it was circulating. I wasn't able to see the show in its totality, but apparently there was a Jericho segment. And it was him, Big Bill. They were in the middle of the ring, and this photo was captured. And you see the complete camera side is just, it's completely empty. They don't even have enough tarps. Like the tarps for the top section to go around, that's one thing, man. But you don't even have enough tarps. That's how many empty seats there are. And then we heard... Now, I don't know if this is accurate or not. What we heard in that same thread that photo was up in is that 90% of the arena was not filled. I find that super hard to believe. But what is interesting is it was never debunked in that thread. So I don't know. I don't know, man. 90% seems a little steep. I mean, in the clips that I did see from that show, it looked like they were able to make it look semi-decent. It looked like more than 10% filled to capacity. I don't know, guys. That's just, it's sad. And that's why I say, when people claim that the wrestling business is booming, I always say like a broken record, is it? That's what I ask. Is WWE's financials booming? Or is the entire industry at large booming? Because AEW will tell you at these live events and how long it took them just to get another TV deal when this should have been finalized 4 months ago. AEW will tell you it's not exactly booming. Tony Khan recently alluded to the fact too. He's like, we are in one of those really good eras again where wrestling is on fire. And I was thinking like, Tony, what? You don't even have the deal like that you wanted 4 months ago. Tony, are you looking at your arenas? If we're being honest, Tony will be the first to tell you. Let him tell you how profitable he is. He's not yet. And that's AEW, the second biggest promotion here stateside. The local bingo hall is struggling to put 50 asses into their local bingo hall venue. 50 seats, that's all it can hold. They'll be happy if they put 8 or 9 in that venue. TNA, ask them if business is booming. It's not. WWE's financials are. They're able to sell out a bunch of Raws and Smackdowns before and after WrestleMania. And the financials, let's not forget why. Because they're going outside the states. They're going to these other countries that are willing to pay large sums of cash to see these PLEs. That's a good business model for WWE. It absolutely is. They're resting on the laurels. They're resting on nostalgia. Everything that was built in the past decades, they're now reaping all of those rewards. They're benefiting from all of the work that was done in the past. Good for them. Eventually, that is going to run out. You know, reducing these live events is going to help you big time. Up front, it might hurt them in the long run. But you're also, when you're not filling up half the arena, I guess just for the sake of looking good, right? Optics. You don't want to hold events where your company, there's photos where there's half the arena empty. So for optics, WWE was like, we got to stop this. Business isn't exactly booming, unfortunately, right? 600 and some odd thousand viewers on a Tuesday, 600 to 700,000 on a Wednesday for a Dynamite, 1.4 for a Monday Night Raw when it used to be 10 million. Cord cutting, wanting to watch highlights the next day, streaming services, debates, games, holidays. You can use any excuse you want. 10 million to 1.4. 10 million to 1.4. Smackdown on broadcast television pulls a 1-7. A 1-7. Broadcast television. No, WWE isn't even booming, but it's what we want to say, right? Especially if you're younger and you hear all the stories about the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression and even the Golden Era. You want an era where you can go, damn, isn't this the best wrestling ever, guys? It's booming like the Attitude Era. No, it's not. Don't even mention this era, the mutual respect era, in the same era of the Attitude Era. The good news is, you got people like BC Amplified. We're going to help them get to an achievable stance in the wrestling industry once again. We're going to help these companies reach a point where the business is truly booming. We're going to help these companies make wrestling great again. See, I'm not just an asshole. I can be a good guy too. I'm willing to help all the companies. Let's move on, guys. I'll tell you what, not somebody pissing off a lot of fans. That is Ricochet. Ricochet recently, man. Another spat with fans, and he's been doing this ever since he's gotten to AEW. This dude is a very angry person lately. We've accounted some of his exchanges since he's gotten to AEW, and it just sounds like somebody who's very... He's not, there's no zen, there's no peace within Ricochet. He's got to find his zen. Ricochet, well, recently I should start off with a fan recently says, and I quote, another random Ricochet match with no story, excited. You know, a little sarcastic, but like that's his thoughts on his own platform, right? He didn't say anything that mean. Another Ricochet match with no story, excited. That's all he said. And Ricochet responds. Ricochet says, I just don't understand the negativity all the time. Why live life that way? So the fan responds, AEW is way too sensitive. Instead of accepting constructive criticism and improving, they lash out and call me negative. That's why AEW is struggling. They're turning fans away who only want the best for the company. Because his statement was really only saying, like, dude, put some story into the matches. Otherwise, it's like what WWE always does. Random matches with no purpose. There's nothing to be captivated by other than the oohing and the awing of all the flips and the dives, right? AEW does it all the time. WWE does it all the time. Matches for the sake of matches. When most wrestling fans would rather watch 10, 15 minutes of a promo battle to build a storyline on our TV product. And at the pay-per-view or the PLE, then we'll take out the wallet and pay money to see the matches. But for the most part, man, the shows have to build stories, not just put on a bunch of matches for the sake of wrestling matches. That sounds to me what the fan was saying. So he says, I just don't understand the negativity all the time. Why live life that way? The fan responds, dude, you guys in AEW are too sensitive. Relax. Instead of accepting the constructive criticism, you're just lashing out and calling us negative, and that's why you're turning fans away. So then Ricochet responds again. Ricochet says, no one got their feelings hurt. Ha ha ha. You just suck. He tells the fan he sucks. I mean, he didn't tell you sucked, bro. He just said put some storylines into your matches, AEW. So Rico says this dude sucks. Another fan then chimes in who saw this thread, and another fan says, and I quote, you sounding really sensitive right now. He sucks because he doesn't agree with you? Wow. So then Rico responds to this other fan. No, he sucks because he's rude, sarcastic, and talks down to people because he knows over the internet there's no consequences. So he's calling them one of those internet tough guys. You know, they always got their fucking mouth running, issuing fucking threats and stupidity, knowing that, nobody can just reach through and smack the shit out of you. So I understand Ricochet there, right? There's enough of those people, for sure. But again, this just sounded like a dude that's angry by a lot of shit being said by the fans up front and just taking it out on this particular person, possibly. But again, what was said from the jump was just another random Ricochet match with no story. Excited. And yes, it was a sarcastic excited. He's just saying, where's the story to this, man? Are we really doing this for 15 minutes? I don't feel like just watching the two wrestlers like I'm a cat and those are the cat toys and I'm supposed to yell, "This is awesome" for 15 minutes. So Ricochet responds by saying he sucks. He's like, so the other fan's like, whoa, he sucks because he just doesn't, he has his own opinion, doesn't agree with you? And Ricochet says, no, he sucks because he's rude, sarcastic, and talks down to people because he knows there's no consequences. I mean, Ricochet just took that to a whole nother, be better than that. What, you're a professional, a former WWE superstar, AEW mega wrestler. Why are you just playing around with fans on the interweb machine? Come on, you gotta spend your time better than that, no? That's advice for Ricochet, man. It's not worth it being that angry, dude. And these are just fans of the product. If that's the worst thing being said, there's gotta be worse than that. That's it. Just another Ricochet match with no story. Excited. And that's what set Ricochet off to start calling fans, saying that fans suck. I'm telling you, that's what, pro wrestler, not just AEW, pro wrestlers in general, they gotta be careful about how they're treating fans. If they deserve a clap back, no question. But sometimes we see that it's weird, like the Maxine situation. If you guys don't know, Maxine, a few months ago, it was a live event. She was headed to the back, and there were some hecklers. And one of the dudes was just saying, "You suck, Maxine. Go home. Don't come back." It's his town. He's heckling you as a wrestler. Whether you're a face or a heel, it's his right. He paid the ticket. No, he wasn't harassing or anything like that or saying anything that was over the top rude to this female. He was telling Maxine, "Boo, you suck, don't come back." And Maxine brought that up in an X thread or something, and some wrestlers like Rhea Ripley and others, they jumped in. And they all started talking about how bad this fan was and how this is a running theme with wrestling fans. And I was kind of like, but that was nothing. That's just a response from a fan. Maybe he truly thought you sucked in the ring. He paid a lot of money and he's telling you, don't come back. He's got every right to tell you that. That wasn't that mean at all. A wrestler got a "you suck, don't come back" comment thrown at him. And that's what blew up the interweb machine the next day. You can't do that, man. Ricochet, somebody said, damn, where's the story, basically? Come on, just another match for the sake of having a match. And you say, you suck. I don't know. I just feel they're so quick to clap back because I feel it's an accumulation of a lot of little things or bigger things as well, but an accumulation. And then when they finally take it out on a fan, it's a lot of the times it's on a fan where it's not even justified. Like it's something very minor and they made it a big thing, but it's because everything else was just accumulating for so long, like all these frustrations that go with being a pro wrestler. And then they just take it out on things like of all the things, right? Like another random Ricochet match with no story. Excited. That was it. That's all he put on his thing. It's his thought on it. It wasn't mean. Like if it was like actual mean, right? And just rude. And just being a douche for the sake of being a douche, absolutely. Clap back if you want, whatever. I mean, I still think you're taking the higher road by not even acknowledging the idiot. But if you want to clap back at that point, whatever. But really think about it. Like, is that really that bad? Same thing as Maxine. You suck, don't come back. Oh, why did they say this last night to me? And then everyone else is jumping in. Maxine, we got you, man. Just rude. Just no respect. The guy said, you suck, don't come back. I mean, these people would never have been able to make it through the Attitude Era. I mean, we literally, when music hit, we would yell, you suck, you suck. We would not let the dude speak. His name was Kurt Angle. We just said, you suck throughout his entire theme, and then we kept it going, so he couldn't even speak. Just said the guy sucks nonstop. And this is Kurt Angle, one of the best wrestlers ever, man. There was a wrestler named The Rock. Well, it was Rocky Maivia at first, then he became The Rock, man. If you knew the things that were said to The Rock, man, it wasn't just Rocky sucks all the time. It was die, Rocky, die. It was some severe shit to The Rock. I mean, man, these people that cry over you suck, don't come back. I don't know what they would have done back then. There was women that were flashing left and right at all the events. The wrestlers, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Shawn Michaels, DX, they would point at females, and when they did, they would have to flash. There were shirts that said "suck it" with an arrow pointing down. I mean, would these people be able to even get through the late 90s into the early 2000s? Would that even be a thing that they could get through? Because a lot of the stuff that they're getting irritated by, it's mind-boggling. A lot of this stuff isn't that bad. It's not that big of a deal. Relax. Ricochet, relax. You just got to AEW. I wouldn't just be turning all the fans away and just flipping out at everybody because they don't think what you're involved in is captivating, and they probably think it should be. I'll end it over back at WWE, guys. Smackdown, we'll have a full preview tomorrow. I really want to get a members chat live stream going. I've been trying since Monday. I just can't do a live. This upload already went a little bit long, and I'm pushing back my prior engagement, so I did not want to do that. So that business just got pushed back. But tomorrow I will try again to do a live stream, a pop-up live stream. It's probably not going to be with any notice. It's probably going to be, if notice, maybe 3 minutes. But it's my way to acknowledge all my channel members, and we'll do a full SmackDown preview and all the news for tomorrow as well. But one thing I will tell you for tomorrow's SmackDown, the debut on the USA Network, the show is going to start off with a steel cage match for the championship, Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. WWE has confirmed that will start the night. Until next time, and there will be that next time. Top guys, we are out. BC in the unit. Saying check you.